Hey folks, how's it going? Got a 390 today, Caterpillar. We've been to this Caterpillar a few times in the past. Display is freezing up constantly. They say about 15 times a day. I am in a bad spot. Well, they are in a bad spot where cellular is just, it's horrible. But I want to see what they're thinking about display freezing up, because it could be a few issues, too many apps running, or could be driver issues, outdated or damaged, and could be operating system issues, although we have updated OS wiped this machine a few times. Yeah, we got snow in North Carolina. Could be their model, so we'll have to see about that too. I want to check and make sure it's not heating up as well. They say their radio is out too, or something is out. Not sure. I know their system is behind here. It's an MCX1. Let's take a peek. Yep, MCX1. I have come out here before. I've replaced the modem. I've done OS wipes on the display for the same issue, freezing up. And I replaced a broken bolt. You probably remember this one if you watch my videos. Replaced a broken bolt there, broke off here. Other than that, curious to see what the system is doing and what they're complaining about. Let's just take a look at their radio. See, if sometimes when it's frozen like this, if there's water in there, you will lose contact. It's best to keep these clean. And just make sure that spring action still works in there. Yeah, I installed this machine last year. Let's go look at the control. I think it's going to be in here, if I remember correctly. There's the UR1. Alright, well, they're on their way, so they're bringing me the display and the antennas and stuff so we can get it fired up and running. I'm just doing pre-checks right now. This is this UR1 radio is connected to that antenna up there via this cable. So I'm just checking it, making sure it's tight. It's a nice install. Very nice. Everything's tight and clean. I'm just curious to know why the display freezes up as much as it does. Okay. I think if I remember correctly, the switch, power switch, is down underneath. Down here somewhere. Yep, there it is. Okay. I'll fire it up, I think. Warm it up. Yeah, we'll get it warmed up, then we can test it out. I want to drive it around a little bit and see if I can't lose or get that screen to freeze up. So when they show up with the display and antennas, we'll throw them on. Alright, we got GRI3s on and mounted. Let's go put the display on. Okay, we are ready to rock and roll. Let's see what the system does. It's got quite a glare coming through that window. I believe these guys are on network, so let's just take a look. Yeah, direct network. Waiting for radio. It's network, so it could take a few minutes. I'll bring you back when it connects. All right, we popped up green, but I had to go in and restart off the first connection. The first connection wouldn't connect to the radio. Keep getting flashes here. We got 400, 600 vertical. We're using 10 out of 15 satellites on the main. Ten out of 15 satellites on the auxiliary. 800s vertical. Error rate. Take and move it around a little bit. See what it does. I know there's nothing that way. Let me swing this way. Don't need to swing very wide, just enough. Just to get those GPS antennas moving. There, see, we lost. That's out of design. That's in design. And right on target. And slope sensor offline. That's interesting. GPS receiver not connected. Wow, it's throwing a bunch of errors at us, isn't it? We'll get that sensor moving up there. See if I can get it back. GPS receiver not connected. That is interesting. Let's go ahead and restart. It's real slow to connect on that main right now. Interesting. Huh. X over radio and X over GPS. And it says GPS receiver not connected. What we'll do, I'll go and I'll check each of those sensor connections because we did have a sensor offline. That was the first error we had. If a sensor goes offline, GPS is going to go offline. That's just a given. Now we're not connecting at all. Let's get out of there. Let's go in. Yeah, main is slow. See which one's hanging up. They're both hanging up. Okay. So we lost sensors first, and then we lost GPS. Let's go ahead and restart it and see if it doesn't come back. Give it a second. I'll fire it up. See what it does. If it comes back green, it seems like there's an intermittent problem between the sensors and the GPS, because the first error I got was slope sensor offline. See if this doesn't move it any quicker. No. Okay. Alright, so let me go out. I'm going to go and check all these sensors and make sure they're connected properly. I can see the body sensor down there. See it blinking green? Body sensor's blinking. Let's see what the boom is doing. I can't see that, can you? I don't think that has anything going on. Now there's our stick sensor. Stick sensor is green. It's flashing green. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to see up in there. Dicey. Body sensor's up in here, so let me go up and take a look. Yeah, I'm just going to see if I can connect to those receivers, GPS receivers, through True. And if we can, we'll just do a factory reset on them real quick and see if that helps. Receiver not detected. Let's try the auxiliary. Not detected. Alright. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to shut down the display, and I'm going to swap out this MCX1. Let's give that a try. Something might be funky with it, because everything comes into here in the display. All the display really is it shows you current events, what's going on. It does other functions, but for the most part, that is your machine control gateway, the MCX1. So we'll swap that out and see if we can't get GPS and everything else back real quick. And this is a brand new MCX1, $750. Yep, let's see if that's the issue. Could be a bad circuit or something inside. Could be a diode, a resistor, a capacitor, a transistor. I mean, just these little tiny circuit boards, you know, could be anything. Alright, so I got the new MCX1 connected. This one, if you smell it, smells a little toastier than that one. I'll just mount that right there. It's got a magnet. Alright, let's see if we get our system back. All I did was move the machine side to side and lost everything. Slope sensor offline. That's to be expected on startup, but we got radio already. No, we got X over radio, GPS receiver not connected. So all the same issues. We got radio again. It's not going. Alright, so we do not have an MCX1 problem. Let's do this. Let's go into machine setup. Let's edit. Next, next. Let's see what sensor is not online. Body sensor is not online. Boom sensor is not online. Stick not online. And bucket not online. Alright, this is what I'm gonna... Oh, did it start moving? This is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna save their project. Not their project, their machine file with the calibration on it and all that. We'll save this. Alright. And just we got that now. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna check to see if it's not a machine file corruption issue. I'm gonna create a new file for it with all the same information in it. See if that helps. I could go and use the same one and just change the name, but let's just make a new one and see what happens. So updated the MCX1. Topcon actually had 2 new updates for it, so we updated that. Now we can see the main, but there are a couple things with these excavator systems. These connectors right here where you have the sensor line coming in, and then you have the GPS line coming in, and then it goes into the MCX1, and that's it right there. But there's a couple of them. This is the main splitter right here, but the one that I need to look at and verify, because it actually has a modification, I need to see if that modification is actually on this one. It's this one here, where you get your one of these pins inside here should be broke off coming from the main antenna. So I think that's the main there coming down. That's the main right there. So this one right here should have a broken pin. I gotta go get my wire cutters and cut some of those zip ties and take a look. If it doesn't have that little pin snapped off, it could potentially cause all these little issues. It was a modification they came out with on these systems, so we'll just verify that. And that's the splitter. It's got one pin broken off on the inside. It should be connected to the main. I gotta make sure it's on the main. I think this one's actually the main, so I'll follow that up, and sure enough, that's going to the main. So I think they're just reversed. This one should be over here. Of course, that one might be cut too. We'll take a look at that and see. So both these have a pin broken off. Either one could be used, but I'm not sure if both are supposed to have a pin broken off. We'll have to verify that. So I've got this splitter. I just broke that pin off right there. Just used a small screwdriver and just goes right where the little keeper is, the one right above it. As you see with this one, they broke out the pins in all of them. I don't think that's supposed to be, like I said, just the main, so that the system can tell which one's the main, which one's the auxiliary, and that one doesn't need to be broken, because it's still got to carry that signal of that pin. So let's try it, see what happens. Alright, got the test splitter on. Let's give it a try, see what happens. See if we get any GPS now. Still saying slope sensor offline, but that's because we don't have any GPS. Well, we'll let that run its course. It's going a lot faster than it was. They've been factory reset, I believe, too. Updated the MCX1. So I'll bring you back if anything changes. We'll let it cook. Alright, so the system is reading the main antenna, but it's not reading the auxiliary. It had a splitter on it with a terminator and a short 2-meter cable. So I took that off, bypassed it, brought the main cable straight up to it, and we're going to test that out. These splitters sometimes go bad, but the less connections we have, the better we are. So I just rerouted that wiring. We'll eliminate the splitter, it doesn't need it, and we'll test it and see. There's little lights on the bottom. Still not reading GPS. Alright, so I swapped that splitter back to the original. Topcon does recommend that each connector be missing a pin. So we'll try it. Bam! Look at that. What do you think? I think, now this is just through trial and error, going through and looking at the system. I didn't do the wiring on this machine. I did the welding on it. Someone else did the wiring, but it had this splitter right here with a terminator, 50 ohm terminator on the auxiliary. Now these splitters, I don't like them. Too many connections, too many things that can go wrong. As soon as I took that off and ran the straight cable, bam, we went green. So, and then I thought it was this. I wasn't sure if Topcon recommended, all the pins be broke out, which they do. I thought it was just on the main side, so that the system knows which one is the main and which one's auxiliary. But I guess just having the pin out on all of them is what they want. I still don't understand how the system determines which one's the main, which one's auxiliary, if the same pin is broken out on each connector. I don't get that, but the system knows. System's green, and it's staying green, so I think our problem was right here. I think that was our problem. This small 2-meter was connected to the auxiliary, and it came down to the straight cable with a 50 ohm terminator on it. So this could have been given some trouble. So we'll run it, test it, and see if I can't get it to lock up. But I think we got it. Yeah, it's still staying green. So alright, now let's go in and let's fix those measurements that should be in there, and should help it out. They're not super critical measurements, but I mean, everything's based off of that center pin right there on excavators. Everything, length, all that. So knowing where this IMU is mounted, so it's actually mounted this way. So it's going to be a negative Y and it's going to be a negative X. So number one, it's going to be a negative X which is 1.2, so it's going to be negative 1.2 off the center of that pin. And then the Y is going to be negative because it comes out to the front of the pin instead of the rear of the pin. So it depends on where you mount them. So we have 1.85. We'll do negative 1.85 on that. And then the next one is center of rotation. You have your big hydraulic motor right there, but the actual center of rotation is back under, almost under the pin a little bit. So this is going to be correct. Number 2 is going to be a positive, so I got 1.15 for number 2. And then it's in line with the very center, so it's going to be 0.00. This one's in line. Some of them are offset, so, but that one's good. And next, finish. Okay. That should just tighten everything up a little bit. Let's get this GPS moving. We'll just swing it back and forth like we did before. See if we can lose it. Out of design. You can see their design area is really small if I zoom in. It's really small, purple line to purple line. So as long as I'm inside that purple line, it'll be in design. As soon as I get out of that line, bam, out of design area. And same thing on this side. Out of design area. So, and they're just putting in pipe, so yeah, that gives them their depth right there. Let's get this thing rocking and rolling. See if we can't get it to cut out on us again. But I think we found the problem. That auxiliary was locking up, and I think that 50 ohm terminator was causing issues to the rest of the system, like the way it was connected. Let's put this thing back on 0 for them. I think that was the issue with this machine all along. Just had that extra little attachment cable on it that shouldn't have been. Didn't need it. That's it. So, alright, we'll let them run this and see how it goes. This one can go back to work.